Hey, what's going on? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about depression and withdrawal from Cymbalta. Actually, I'm on Duloxetine, which I think is just like a generic for Cymbalta. So I haven't really talked about that on this channel yet. If you followed my podcast, Regular People Talking About Mental Health, I talked about my mental health very openly. And if you want to check those out, you can go to nickandtrisha.com and there's links to go to it. You can also go to any of the podcast platforms and you'll find our podcast. All right, so let me just jump right into this. I'm withdrawing from Cymbalta, Duloxetine, and it's terrible. I have, I don't know what to call it, severe depressive disorder or something like that. Major depressive disorder. I'm a really depressed person. I get suicidal and stuff like that. Like, it's really, really bad. And I've been on a whole bunch of different medications and therapies. And I mean, I've tried tons and tons of different things to help with my depression, and nothing really works for me. So I got on Duloxetine a few months ago, I think, before the winter. And we tried that, and it didn't really feel like it was doing much for me. I was still having, like, suicidal thoughts and major depressive episodes, and it was just not really feeling like it was working. So we decided to switch medications. I've been also talking to my therapist, who also is my prescriber, about ADHD and how my ADHD, how do I describe this? My ADHD complicates my life so much that it makes me depressed. Like, I end up not being able to focus and getting behind on things and forgetting stuff and all that stuff. And that ends up triggering depression. And I've made a video in the past about RSD, rejection sensitive dysphoria, in regards to ADHD. And so that whole thing spirals into what becomes depression. Like, an RSD episode becomes depression and all that. And I was also diagnosed with borderline personality disorder about a year ago. And that's complicated things as well. So major depressive disorder, anxiety, OCD, ADHD, borderline personality disorder. There's probably more that I'm forgetting, but those are the big things that are really a handicap for me. And I've been trying to work through them, and it's really, really hard. And anyway, this drug is not working, and I'm trying to wean off of it. I think I was on 120 milligrams of Duloxetine, and then we tapered it down to 60 milligrams. And when I did that taper, I had a few days, maybe a week tops, where I felt a little off, and I couldn't really describe the feeling because it wasn't like happening a lot, but it was just weird. But last week, we took me off completely. We went from 60 to 0. I don't think there's anything in between. And my therapist did say that I could, like, they're capsules, so I could break it open and take some of the stuff and take, like, a half a pill, basically, but it's not like breaking a pill in half. So I'm trying to deal with that, and I haven't tried doing the half a pill yet, but today's Tuesday, and last Thursday was when these symptoms started hitting me. And it feels like, I explained it to Trisha, it feels like the feeling when you, like, you know, when you're, like, not paying attention, you, like, step off a curb, and I call it, like, a 1-inch heart attack. Like you're like, oh my God, like, this feeling comes over you. It kind of feels like that. It also reminds me of the drug ecstasy, which does weird stuff to your body and your brain, and it kind of reminds me of that feeling, but not in a good way. So it's also referred to as brain zaps. I've heard it referred to that. So I get these, like, pulses in my head, and it's like not tingly, but it's kind of the closest word I can think of to describe it. It's like almost a tingling sensation, and like a numbing, and like I kind of, like, I don't know if I can give it a sound. It's like woof, that kind of thing is what happens in my brain, and it's just like, it's disorienting a little bit, and it makes it difficult to do everything, and it comes in and out in waves. It's happened multiple times while I've been recording this video, and there's always this underlying level of it. And I've also had like a very slight headache that taking like Tylenol is not helping with. And I think that's because of the brain zaps and this like wow thing that's happening in my head. So it's just been weird. And what was I going to say? See, this is my problem. I lose my train of thought while doing everything. I don't know if that's the ADHD, but it's definitely compounded by this stuff. I've been really struggling to focus on everything recently. Like I sit down at my desk and I'm going to do something, and I just like, I sit here and I just like look at stuff, and I'm like it confuses me looking at things. Like I'm totally off. And I know it's related to this medication because I've looked up the withdrawal symptoms, and that's basically what it says, all the things. There's just like, I think nausea is one of them, and nausea isn't exactly what I would describe it as, but it's like, I'm always hungry, yet I always feel like I ate too much, and I feel sick to my stomach at the same time, and I'm craving food. It's weird. I want to eat and I don't want to eat at the same time, and eating doesn't like fill my hunger. It's like weird. And I'm always kind of like a binge eater, but it's been just especially strange in the last week. Oh, I was going to mention earlier, I've been meaning to email my therapist and ask her about me taking half a capsule, because this is just like impeding with my life too much. It's been very difficult for me to do anything, and I'm supposed to see her on Thursday, so that's another 2 days. I could wait, but I just figured I'd ask her and then maybe start taking this capsule tomorrow. So if I wait till Thursday, I won't be able to start taking it till Friday. So I don't know, we're gonna see what she says if she answers me tonight. But it's not fun. And I've been not producing a whole lot of videos because I'm super depressed, and it's really hard to get in front of the camera. Like, even doing this tonight, I didn't change my setup. This is my like streaming setup. Normally when I do my videos, I would pull the camera down and put it on a tripod, so I'm not like looking up at it. It's not above my monitor. It's like in front of me. And I would like clean up the background. Like, wrong way. I've got all this stuff out on the desk and this chair and like a box and like paperwork over here. Like, normally I would clean all that stuff up, but I was just like, I just don't have the energy or the motivation. And when I try to do stuff, the brain zaps just like make it so hard to do anything that I just would rather not do anything. So yeah, it's been really difficult. Have I said that already? It's been really difficult, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. On Saturday, though, it was really bad, and I was explaining to Trisha, like, the feeling that I was talking about, that, like, tingly numbness, falling off the edge of a cliff, anxiety, panic attack feeling. It was pretty steady throughout the day on Saturday. So, like I said, it started on Thursday and Friday, it, like, was coming in and out. I was getting these waves of it. And then Saturday, it was, like, there, like, all the time, overwhelming. And even laying in bed, I couldn't sleep. And I was laying there, and it felt like spinning. Like, it almost reminds me of, like, that's the thing. It reminds me a little bit of a lot of things, like being, like, drunk. Like, there's this little bit of, like, inebriation to it. And I've been sober for almost 7 years. Like, I gave up drugs and alcohol a long time ago, so it's not a fun feeling for me to be feeling inebriated. So I just talked to my therapist. I was on 60 milligrams of Duloxetine, and then she prescribed 20 milligrams, and I was supposed to take 2, but when we had spoken in person before she prescribed it, she told me that she was going to send me 40s, and I was going to take 1 per day, and I didn't even think to, like, look at the instructions on the bottle. I just she told me what to take, and I said, okay, I'm just going to do that, and I did it. So I jumped from 60 to 20, and I was supposed to go 60 to 40. And that's why I experienced withdrawals before, but then when the withdrawals went away, we were like, okay, we'll just come off of it now. But that's when these major withdrawals hit. So I just talked to her, and we're going to put me back on 20 for now and then taper off slower. She said when I start getting these brain zaps that I need to basically get back on the medication and just taper off slower so that we don't experience that. So that's what we're going to do. I don't really know what else to say. I don't really know why I wanted to make this video. I've done some mental health videos on this channel in the past, and like I said, I had the podcast, and this channel was all about me, kind of like, you know, I had my YouTube channel for my business, and I wanted to do my own channel to talk more about me and what's going on in my life and stuff like that. So, and I've been doing all these tech videos and just focused on that, and it's been really fun, and my channel's grown a lot because of it. But I haven't kept people up to date with me, which when I started the channel, that was the whole point, was keeping people up to date with me. So this is a little bit what's been going on behind the scenes for me. I'm surprised I'm actually sharing this with the world, but I'm also not surprised. So if you're actually interested in me talking about mental health stuff and this journey that I'm on that I haven't really shared about, it's pretty much exclusively what I talk about on my TikTok. And I've even been slacking on that, and people are reaching out and they're worried about me because like I post videos saying that I'm like, you know, suicidal, and then I don't make a video for a week, and people are worried about me, and it's freaky. It's freaky to me too. Like, fortunately I'm not, I refer, you know, it's been referred to as suicidal ideation is what my therapists have called it to me. Like, I'm not planning on actively doing it. I'm just planning to do it, if that makes sense. Like, I think about it a lot. I come up with how I'm going to do it, plan it out. I figure out what I have to do in my life to feel like I can get everything situated so I can exit. And to me, like, I'm very calm talking about it. It doesn't bother me at all. It's very matter of fact to me. I'm pretty miserable. I don't enjoy life, like 90% of the time. And I really struggle to be a human. And it was hard when I first started letting that out. But now that I've been on this recovery, this mental health journey for like 7 years, it's just like easy for me to talk about, which is kind of weird. But also good because I'm like getting it out versus just keeping it in my head and letting all those thoughts ruminate and spin around in there. So there you go. There's a little bit about me. And if you're going through a similar struggle, I feel your pain. You're not alone. Leave me a comment. Let me know, and I'll chat back and forth with you. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I don't know. I'll see you on the next video. All right.